My name is Andrea Harper. I'm 27 years old, and if you'd asked me a year ago, I would have said I was in a stable, healthy relationship. At least that's what I wanted to believe. But now as I sit here replaying everything in my head, I realize that what I called healthy was just me making excuses. Excuses for someone who was slowly gaslighting me into silence. I'd been with my boyfriend Tristan, 26, for about 18 months. In the beginning, things were good. He was charming in that easy, boy-next-door way, the kind that made my friends say, "Finally, Andrea, you found someone normal." But there was always a shadow in our relationship. Her name was Sienna, his ex-girlfriend. They had dated for 3 years, broken up 2 years before I came into the picture, yet somehow she was still everywhere. At first I thought, fine, people can be friends with their exes. I'm not the jealous type. I really believed that. I trusted him. I wanted to prove I wasn't one of those controlling girlfriends who demanded no contact rules. But then came the little things. Dinner dates where he'd tell me, "This place. Oh, Sienna brought me here once. She has great taste." Movie nights where he'd say, "Sienna always loved this actor. He reminds me of her cousin." Even the way he laughed sometimes, he'd say, "God, that's exactly how Sienna would laugh at my jokes." I remember one evening sitting across from him at a ramen bar, chopsticks frozen halfway to my lips. He had just finished a long tangent about how Sienna was the one who introduced him to the place. My smile faltered, but I forced myself to laugh to nod. "Don't make it a big deal, Andrea," I told myself. "He's just reminiscing." But deep down, a seed had been planted. At first, it was irritation. Then it became unease. And eventually, it turned into something darker doubt. One afternoon, Tristan came home after catching up with Sienna. I asked casually, "So how was lunch?" He looked at me, a strange defensiveness flashing across his face. "Why are you jealous?" I frowned. "I'm literally just asking how your day went." "Sure," he scoffed. "You're jealous. That's not attractive, Andrea." His words hit harder than they should have. Not because I was jealous, but because he made me feel like I was. He twisted my simple curiosity into insecurity. From then on, any time I mentioned her name, he smirked, rolled his eyes, and said, "There she goes again, being jealous." It became his shield, his weapon, his excuse. And I started doubting myself. Maybe I was being unreasonable. Maybe it was jealousy. But the universe has a cruel way of revealing the truth. It started with Instagram stories. Harmless at first, Tristan and Sienna sitting too close at a cafe, leaning into each other in selfies, her tagging him with hearts. Then came the photos that made my chest tighten. Sienna kissing Tristan's cheek at dinner with the caption, "Miss this one." A bar photo of his arm wrapped around her waist. Them leaving together at 2 a.m., blurry but unmistakable. When he came home the next morning, I tried to keep calm. "Fun night?" I asked. "Yeah," he said, easily kicking off his shoes. "It was nice catching up." I pulled out my phone, the screen glowing with her posts. The photos looked cozy. And just like that, his smile hardened. "Here we go." "Tristan, I'm just saying kissing your ex on social media, that's a bit much." It was on the cheek. "God, your jealousy is exhausting." "I'm not jealous. I'm pointing out that posting romantic-looking photos with your ex is well disrespectful." He looked me dead in the eye. "If you're jealous, that's your issue, not mine. I won't be controlled by your insecurities." I tried one last time. "So if I posted photos kissing my ex, you'd be fine with it?" "That's different," he snapped. "How?" "Because you'd be doing it to hurt me. I'm just being friendly." Friendly. That word rang in my ears like a curse. In that moment, something inside me cracked. It wasn't jealousy. It wasn't insecurity. It was disrespect, plain and simple. But Tristan refused to see it. Or maybe he just didn't care. I remember going to bed that night, staring at the ceiling. My heart pounding, the glow of her Instagram stories still burning in my mind. The gaslighting was Olympic level and I was losing. And yet a small, stubborn voice whispered inside me, "No, you're not crazy. You're not insecure. You're being played." I didn't know it then, but that voice, the one I almost silenced, would become my weapon. Because soon I was going to make Tristan and Sienna choke on their own friendship. The weeks that followed blurred into a cycle. Every time I asked a question, any question about Tristan's lunches calls or nights out with Sienna, it was the same script. "Why you jealous again?" "Andrea, this is embarrassing. You have trust issues. All women are jealous of her, I guess." At first, I tried defending myself. I'd say, "I'm not jealous, Tristan. I'm asking a normal question." Couples talk about their day. But the more I protested, the more he doubled down. Soon I stopped asking altogether. But silence doesn't mean peace. It just means the storm is building inside. Then came the photos. It started innocently enough, or at least that's how Tristan framed it. It's just a reunion, he said, scrolling through pictures of him and Sienna at dinner, laughing with a group of friends. Except the angles told a different story. Sienna leaning into him, her head tipped close enough to brush his cheek, his arm casually resting behind her, his fingers grazing her shoulder. And then the one that made my blood run cold, her lips pressed against his cheek, captioned with a playful, "Miss this one." That wasn't a reunion. That was a performance. I confronted him again, my phone shaking in my hand. "Tristan, do you understand how this looks? She's kissing you in front of everyone, and you're smiling like you don't have a girlfriend watching from home." He smirked like my feelings were a joke. "It's just a cheek kiss, Andrea. Stop being dramatic." It's not just the kiss, it's the caption. The way she leans on you, the comments. Oh my God, the comments now. What's next? Are you going to police what her friends say? The comments. That was the dagger. Scrolling through them, I saw strangers egging it on. You two were perfect together. Still, the best couple, way better than the current one. Tristan and Sienna forever. And I was the current one, the placeholder, the mistake. That night I didn't sleep. I lay awake staring at the ceiling, every cruel comment replaying in my head like a chant. My chest ached with humiliation, but beneath it, a slow simmering rage began to stir. I wasn't jealous. I was done being disrespected. The turning point came 2 weeks later. Sienna posted a story, her and Tristan at the beach. They were lying on the same towel, her head on his chest, his sunglasses tilted toward the camera. Her caption was a casual, "Some things never change." Something inside me snapped. I didn't cry this time. I didn't scream. I didn't even argue with Tristan when he brushed it off as just nostalgia. Instead, I sat in the dark of my apartment, scrolling through every single post, screenshot after screenshot like evidence for a trial. Her cheek kisses, their late-night bar exits, the beach cuddle, the throwback Thursday photo of them when they were a couple, her caption dripping with implication. Some things never change. And as I saved each one, carefully labeling them into a neat little folder on my phone, a thought struck me. If Sienna wanted the world to see their friendship, then the world would see it. That's when I found him. Scrolling through Sienna's Instagram, I noticed a man in her tagged photos. His name was Daniel, 28, a pediatric nurse, smiling in scrubs, celebrating anniversaries, cooking dinners together in their small apartment. Her boyfriend, the one she wasn't tagging in the beach photos, the one she conveniently didn't mention during friend reunions, the one who had no idea his girlfriend was plastering cozy pictures with her ex all over the internet. I stared at his profile for a long time, my finger hovering over the message button. Would it be crossing a line? But then I imagined being him, being Daniel, loving someone who secretly curled up on another man's chest while the world cheered them on. And suddenly I knew. If it were me, I would want to know. So I clicked message. "Hi, you don't know me. My name's Andrea, and I've been dating Tristan Sienna's ex. I thought you should see these." I attached the folder of screenshots, every photo, every caption, every cozy story. I'm not trying to start drama. I just figured you'd want to know what your girlfriend's been up to during her reunions. Do what you want with this info. My thumb hovered for a breathless second. Then I pressed send. I set my phone down, my heart hammering, like I just lit a fuse. Because deep down I knew I had. And once it burned to the end, there would be no going back. The next morning, I woke up with my phone clenched in my hand, its battery drained from me, refreshing the screen until I finally passed out. Daniel had seen the message, red marked in faint gray under my words, but no reply. Silence. I told myself maybe he needed time, maybe he didn't believe me, maybe I had crossed a line by interfering at all. Doubt gnawed at me as I dragged myself to work, going through the motions, barely tasting my coffee. By lunch, my phone buzzed. I froze when I saw Daniel's Instagram story. A simple photo of Sienna's beach selfie with Tristan reposted, the caption scrawled across in bold white letters. When you realize the work trips were actually beach dates with the ex. My breath caught. My chest felt hot. The fuse had lit. Within hours, everything unraveled. Tristan and Sienna's cozy photos started vanishing, deleted in panicked sweeps. Daniel's profile shifted from anniversary posts to a stark black screen with the words, 2 years wasted. His friends flooded the comments, "You deserve better, man." She was always shady. Meanwhile, my own phone buzzed so violently, it nearly fell off the counter. It was Tristan. Tristan. "What the hell did you do, Tristan?" "Daniel is freaking out. He dumped her. Sienna's calling me crying. You ruined everything." I typed back one sentence. "Did I? Or did your choices ruin everything?" He called me immediately. I let it ring. By evening, the drama had spilled fully into public view. Daniel posted screenshots. Sienna telling him she was just catching up with an old friend, while the photos clearly showed them half wrapped around each other. His caption cut like glass. If catching up looks like this, I'd hate to see what cheating looks like. Sienna tried to clap back with her own post. Some people are so insecure they have to ruin friendships. But the comments didn't go how she expected. Girl, you kissed your ex and cuddled him on a towel. That's not friendship. Imagine gaslighting your boyfriend and your ex's girlfriend at the same time. Friends don't do this. Own it. Even her own followers turned on her. The captions that once earned heart emojis now drew snake emojis. That night, Tristan showed up at my apartment uninvited, his face pale with panic. You don't understand what you've done, he spat, pacing my living room. Daniel's gone nuclear. He's deleting everything. He posted all those photos. Sienna's a mess. She's blaming me. This is insane. I leaned against the wall, arms folded. All I did was show him what was already public. If that destroyed your relationships, maybe they weren't built on much to begin with. His eyes darted, searching for some shred of control. You're toxic, Andrea. You've always been jealous. This proves it. I laughed, bitter and sharp. If jealousy is just showing someone else what you willingly posted online, then maybe the problem isn't me. He stormed out, slamming the door so hard my picture frames rattled. Over the next few days, I watched everything collapse like a reality show unfolding in real time. Daniel went scorched earth, posting screenshots of texts, timelines, even private messages where Sienna lied about visiting family when she was really with Tristan. One by one, their lies surfaced. Each girl's night out revealed to be a secret dinner. Each old photo traced back to a date hidden from Daniel. And the comments, oh, the comments. Strangers dissected every detail. Friends picked sides. Most landed firmly against Sienna and Tristan. Then came the cruelest irony. Tristan, the man who once told me my jealousy was exhausting, was suddenly drowning in it himself. Sienna stopped answering his calls, blaming him for ruining her relationship with Daniel. She posted a tear-streaked story about being betrayed by men who can't handle confident women with male friends. The backlash was immediate. You weren't friends. You were rehearsing your old relationship in public while lying to your current one. Stop blaming jealousy for your own choices. The math wasn't mathing, and everyone saw it. One night, scrolling through the wreckage, I caught myself smiling. Not because I enjoyed their pain, though I won't lie. There was satisfaction in their unraveling. But because for the first time in months, I didn't doubt myself. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't insecure. I had boundaries. And they had crossed every single one. And now the world was finally holding them accountable. But I also knew Tristan. He wasn't the type to slink away quietly. And if Sienna felt cornered, she'd lash out. I didn't know it yet, but their desperate attempt to rewrite the narrative would drag me back into the center of the chaos. The thing about truth is, it doesn't need help to spread. Once Daniel posted those first stories, the internet did the rest. Within 48 hours, their perfect little web of half-truths and gaslighting had collapsed. Daniel went all in. One post after another, he laid out the receipts like a prosecutor building a case. Screenshots of Tristan's conference calls that lined up perfectly with Sienna's beach photos. A text from Sienna saying, "Babe, don't wait up, it's just girls' night," followed by a geo-tagged photo of her at a bar with Tristan. Even a throwback selfie of the two of them with the caption, "Some things never change," that she'd uploaded on what Daniel revealed was their 2-year anniversary weekend. Each post hit harder than the last. His captions were short, sharp, furious. Loyalty isn't complicated. Friends don't lie. I wasted 2 years on someone rehearsing an old love story. I sat on my couch with my laptop open, the glow of his stories lighting up my face like a courtroom drama. I didn't need Netflix anymore. This was better. My phone buzzed nonstop. First, Tristan. Tristan. You psycho. How dare you? This is toxic. Tristan. You're jealous. Admit it. You're trying to break us up. I ignored the first 20 calls. When he finally texted, "Answer me," or "I'm coming over," I sent one reply. Did what all I did was forward Sienna's public posts. If that breaks you two, maybe the problem wasn't me. No answer. Then came Sienna. She called me crying, mascara streaking down her face in a shaky video she posted to her story. Are you happy now, Andrea? You destroyed everything. Tristan won't talk to me. Daniel hates me. Everyone thinks I'm a liar. Are you proud of yourself? I watched it twice, then put my phone down. I didn't feel proud. I felt free, but freedom never comes clean. Because Tristan and Sienna weren't just going to take their downfall quietly. No, they needed someone to blame. And who better than the jealous girlfriend who had finally dared to pull the curtain back? That night, my phone lit up again with Tristan's name. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity got the better of me. Do you realize what you've done? He barked the moment I picked up. His voice was ragged, desperate. I showed the truth, I said calmly. You ruined Sienna's relationship. You ruined my life. Do you even care? You ruined it yourself, Tristan. I just stopped covering for you. There was silence on the other end, then a bitter laugh. You think you're the hero here? No. You're just pathetic. You'll always be jealous of her. And then he hung up. But if Tristan thought his words could still wound me, he was wrong. Because while he raged and Sienna wept online, the tide of public opinion was shifting, and not in their favor. Comments on Sienna's posts turned vicious. You gaslit your boyfriend, lied to your new one, and played victim. Pathetic. Friends don't kiss. Friends don't cuddle on towels. Friends don't lie. Own your choices. You're not a victim, you're the villain. Her attempt at a notes app apology. People took things out of context. Tristan and I are just friends was torn apart within minutes. Context, you posted yourself kissing someone else's man. What context do you need? She deleted it within the hour. But the most brutal part wasn't the strangers. It was the people who knew them. Friends of Daniel posted comments about how they'd always suspected something. Old classmates reposted memes with their photos captions like "Imagine being this messy in your mid-20s." Even Tristan's own coworkers started snickering behind his back, he confided to me once. Back when we were still okay, that being embarrassed publicly was his biggest fear. Now the nightmare was real. And me, I sat there in the eye of the storm, strangely calm. For months I'd been gaslit into thinking I was the problem, that my boundaries were insecurity, that my instincts were jealousy. But now the evidence was everywhere. The world was confirming what I'd known all along. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't jealous. I was right. Still, a part of me knew this was only the beginning, because Sienna wasn't done. She was cornered, humiliated, abandoned by both men, and a person like her doesn't crumble quietly. No, if she was going down, she'd drag everyone else into the flames with her. And soon she would light the match. I thought I had seen it all on my phone screen, but nothing prepared me for Sienna showing up at my apartment door in person. It was nearly midnight. I'd just settled on the couch with tea when the frantic knocking started. At first I thought it was Tristan, drunk desperate. But when I opened the door, there she was, Sienna. Mascara smeared like bruises under her eyes, hair tangled her breaths, coming in sharp sobs. She clutched her phone in one hand, shaking. You, she gasped, pushing past me into the apartment without an invitation. Are you happy now? You destroyed everything. I stood frozen, my mug trembling in my grip. What are you talking about? Her voice cracked as she whirled on me. Tristan won't speak to me. Daniel dumped me. Everyone online thinks I'm some monster. I set the mug down, my hands steadying. Maybe because you kissed your ex on Instagram while lying to your boyfriend. Her mouth opened and closed like she was searching for the right script. Finally, she choked out, I only did that because of you. That made me laugh, sharp, humorless. Me? Yes, she cried, her voice breaking. I wanted to make you jealous, to make Tristan fight for me, to prove that he still loved me. Her words echoed in the silence of my living room. So my humiliation wasn't an accident. It was entertainment. I took a step closer, my voice low. So my pain was your little game. My relationship was just collateral damage for you to feed your ego. Her chin wobbled. She looked younger in that moment, like a child caught red-handed. I thought if you saw it, you'd fight harder, that he'd choose me again. I didn't think it would blow up like this. You didn't think. My laugh came out bitter. Sienna, you lit the match and poured gasoline all over it. What did you expect? Her eyes filled with fresh tears. I've lost everything. I stared at her, the truth sliding into focus. She wasn't crying over Daniel, not even over Tristan. She was crying because the attention was gone. The audience had turned. The door burst open again, slamming against the wall. Tristan stormed in his face, red with fury. Andrea, what the hell is going on? He barked, then froze when he saw Sienna standing there. For a moment, none of us spoke. The air was thick, buzzing with unspoken accusations. Then Sienna ran to him, grabbing his arm. Tristan, please, you have to listen. She ruined us. She sent everything to Daniel. Tristan's eyes snapped to me, blazing. You really are pathetic, he spat. Always jealous, always trying to destroy what you can't control. I met his gaze calm. I didn't destroy anything. Your lies did. Your little nostalgia act with Sienna did. I just stopped letting you rewrite reality. His face contorted. You don't understand. You've ruined my life. No, Tristan, I said quietly. You ruined your own life. I just refused to keep covering for you. For a moment, the room was still. Then Sienna broke it, her voice trembling. Tristan, please. Don't you see? We could have been together again. We should have been, if she hadn't interfered. But Tristan shoved her hand away, his voice cutting like a knife. You ruined everything, Sienna. Daniel hates me now. My reputation's destroyed, and it's your fault. She blinked at him, stunned. My fault? Yes, he snarled. You posted the photos. You wanted the attention. Now everyone thinks I'm some liar who can't let go of his ex. Her face crumpled. I did it for you. But he was already shaking his head, disgust etched in every line of his face. You did it for yourself. Don't pretend otherwise. I watched them, two people clawing at each other, trying to pin the blame anywhere but themselves. And for the first time in months, I felt clarity. They weren't tragic lovers. They weren't star-crossed exes destined to reunite. They were parasites, feeding on drama, on jealousy, on attention. And I was done being their host. Both of you need to leave, I said firmly, stepping between them. Tristan sneered. What, you think you're better than us now? I met his glare with calm steel. No, I just know I deserve better. Sienna's lip trembled. Please, Andrea, I didn't mean for it to get this bad. We can fix this. I shook my head. No, you can't fix something that was never real to begin with. I opened the door. Get out. For once, neither argued. They shuffled past me, broken shadows of the people who had walked in. But as the door clicked shut behind them, I knew it wasn't over. Because people like Sienna don't fade quietly. They go nuclear. And I had just given her a brand new target. I should have known it wouldn't end at my door. People like Sienna don't just lick their wounds, they sharpen their claws. 2 nights later, my phone buzzed with a new group chat notification. The subject line made my stomach drop. Let's clear the air. Sienna. Inside the chat were 4 names. Sienna. Tristan. Daniel. Me. My pulse quickened. This wasn't a peace talk, it was an ambush. Her opening message came in fast, long, and dripping with self-righteousness. Sienna. Since everyone wants to act like children, let's talk like adults. Andrea has been jealous of my friendship with Tristan from the start. She vindictively tried to break up me and Daniel. This is toxic jealousy at its finest. I've done nothing wrong except maintain a friendship. My hands tightened around the phone. Same script, different stage. Before I could respond, Daniel's typing bubble appeared. Daniel friendship. Really, I have 73 screenshots that say otherwise. And then one by one, he dropped them. Photos of Tristan calling her baby. Texts of miss you. Can't wait to see you again. Screenshots of Tristan complaining about me to her promising late-night meetups behind Daniel's back. It was a massacre. Tristan jumped in immediately. Tristan, those are out of context. Daniel replied, with the precision of a surgeon. Daniel, what context makes? I wish I was with you instead. Okay, Tristan? Silence. For once, Tristan had no quick spin, no gaslight defense, just the void of his own guilt. Sienna tried to pivot, her words frantic. Sienna, this isn't about me and Tristan. It's about Andrea manipulating all of us. Finally, I typed, me. I literally just forwarded your public post, Sienna. You manipulated yourself. The chat went dead for a moment. I thought maybe that was it. But Daniel wasn't finished. Daniel. By the way, Sienna, did you know about Jenna Caitlin? The others. My eyes widened. What others? Sienna. What are you talking about? Daniel. Tristan pulled the same act with them, keeping friendships with his exes, lying to whoever he was dating at the time. Check his tagged photos from 2021. Same poses, same miss. This one captions, just different women. History repeats, hun. I scrolled my thumb, trembling, pulling up Tristan's old tags. There it was. Him and Jenna, her kissing his cheek. The caption, some things never change. Another with Caitlin arms around each other at a bar, him grinning like a man caught in a loop. My chest turned cold. It wasn't just me. It wasn't just Daniel. It wasn't even just Sienna. This was Tristan's pattern, his addiction. Keeping exes on the hook, gaslighting the new partner, juggling just enough chaos to feel wanted by everyone. And suddenly, Sienna wasn't the rival, she was just another victim in his endless carousel. The group chat went silent. Then one by one, Sienna left. Tristan left. Daniel sent one final message privately to me. Daniel, thanks for the heads up. Save me from wasting more time. Sorry your ex was trash too. I stared at the screen, my fingers hovering, then typed back. Me. No problem. Sometimes the trash takes itself out. That night, I sat in the dark of my apartment, my phone still buzzing with fallout. Sienna's social media meltdown continued, long rants about toxic men and insecure women that were ripped apart in the comments. Tristan vanished offline, no posts, no stories, nothing. But I didn't need to see him. I already knew the truth. And it was worse than jealousy, worse than betrayal. It was emptiness. Tristan had never loved anyone, not me, not Sienna, not Daniel, not Jenna, not Caitlin. He only loved the performance, the game. And finally, the stage lights had gone out. The storm didn't end with the group chat. If anything, that was just the final detonation. What came after was the smoldering wreckage. For 4 days, Tristan and Sienna tried to salvage something from the ashes. 4 days of desperate couple selfies posted with captions like, "Real love survives anything and against the world." But the internet wasn't buying it. The comments were brutal. "Survives anything you didn't survive honesty." This isn't love. This is two people clinging to their favorite mirror. Imagine being proud of a relationship born from cheating and lies. By the end of the week, the selfies were deleted. Sienna unfollowed Tristan. Tristan posted a black screen with the words, "Focusing on growth." Translation, he had nothing left. Their so-called second chance crumbled before it even began. Sienna didn't go quietly, of course. She posted cryptic quotes about knowing your worth and toxic women who can't handle confident men with female friends. The comments roasted her. Confident men don't need side pieces. Friends don't kiss each other's exes. Stop embarrassing yourself. She deleted the post within an hour. Tristan disappeared offline altogether. No stories, no likes, no comments. From what I heard through mutual acquaintances, he became a ghost at work too. Head down, silent, stripped of the cocky grin he once wore like armor. I thought about him sometimes, but not with longing. More like you think of a cautionary tale. He'd spent years rehearsing the same act with different women, and finally the curtain had closed. Daniel, on the other hand, thrived. A few weeks later, he posted a photo with another nurse at his hospital, a doctor actually. His caption read, "Sometimes the universe takes out the trash for you. Grateful for the real ones." His friends cheered him on. You could feel the difference. He wasn't performing for validation. He was moving forward. And me. For the first time in months, I could breathe. I started therapy, finally admitting to myself how long I'd tolerated the gaslighting. I unpacked why I mistook silence for peace, why I swallowed my instincts just to keep the facade of a healthy relationship. Little by little, I reclaimed my voice. The moment that stays with me came at a friend's barbecue. I met someone there. Nothing dramatic, no cinematic sparks, just a quiet conversation by the grill. His name was Matthew. He asked me what I did for work, told me about his dog, laughed at my dry humor. At one point, his phone buzzed. He glanced at its side and said, "Hey, my ex is asking if I still have her book. Would you be uncomfortable if I met her to give it back?" I blinked, stunned. "You're asking if I'd be comfortable?" He frowned slightly, like it was the most obvious thing in the world. "Of course. Why wouldn't I? We're a team. Your comfort matters." It was such a simple thing, but in that moment it felt revolutionary. Because Tristan never asked. He dismissed. He twisted. He made my boundaries feel like flaws. And here was someone treating them like respect. Looking back, I realized something. It was never about jealousy. It was about dignity, about refusing to be made small, refusing to be silenced. If someone tells you your reasonable boundaries are jealousy, they're not protecting a friendship. They're protecting a performance. And the only way to win against a performance is to stop being the audience. So to anyone listening who has ever been told, if you're jealous, that's your issue. Sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is shine a light on the truth. And sometimes the best closure is realizing you were never